What's up, Lou? Thank you for joining us.
That was good.
Not too much, Brian. Let's start with a question from Sarah.
Hey Lou, how are you?
All right.
Is the playoffs and just the difference between the playoffs and the regular season, is that something that you as a veteran can help the younger guys prep for, or is it kind of one of those things where they just have to experience it for themselves?
A little mix of both. You share your experiences and the things that you've gone through, trying to win playoff series, and you take the trials and tribulations. You take the things that you weren't as successful with, and you try to give them as much of that as you can. And then at the same time, their experience is going to be unique to what they got to go out there and do. So it's a little bit of both.
I've heard you talk about how attention to detail is so important in the postseason. Just what are some of the things that you've shared with the young guys?
Attention to detail, just small things that we probably really wouldn't consider doing a regular season. Free throw box outs, making sure we're in the right spots on the offensive end, giving ourselves an opportunity to score as many points as we can just by being in the right spots. Defensively, making sure we're communicating, making sure we're in the right spots defensively and following the game plan. Some of those things in a regular season can kind of get overlooked because you look at it as a long season. And now, this series it can be the end of your season. It comes down to just every single little thing that happens in a basketball game. So you just have to have a hard hat on for that.
Thank you.
Rebecca Harlow.
Hey, Lou. You were pretty vocal about the fact that after the trade went down, you thought for a minute about maybe leaving the game. And now everything that you've done for this Hawks team, everything that you've done to help them win games in the fourth quarter, et cetera, and here you are looking to make a run in the playoffs. How do you feel you are now, and how grateful are you that you didn't give up on the game in that moment?
In that moment, I'm grateful to be able to continue my career and be in my hometown, represent my home basketball club, be with a great group of guys and organization, and have an opportunity to just continue on. And so, who knows how long this postseason run can last? It can last up to 4 to 6 weeks for us. I'll make a decision from there and weigh my options. I'm in a great spot where I have clarity and I have peace of mind with the things I've been able to accomplish in my career. Whether it comes to an end after this season or I got another 3-4 year run in me, who knows? I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be able to have clarity with that. So I look forward to the future, see what happens. But I'm focused. I'm locked in on these playoff series, and try to be the best teammate that I can be. Try to give as much advice that I can do and do a great job on the floor as well.
We were just talking to Nate, and he said that, one of the areas where he's seen this team improve the most is in your ability to finish games, close things out, win games. Obviously, a lot of that has come down to what you've been able to provide this team in late game scenarios. How much pride do you take in the fact that you've turned a perceived weakness in the bench into now a very strong bench in this league that is one of your assets?
I hadn't really looked at it like that. I'm a highly competitive person. I want to put myself in a position to be able to be successful on a lot of levels. I've been able to have a lot of fourth quarter success. For whatever reason, that's just where my career took me. Just being locked in the fourth quarter, making sure that we get as many attempts at the rim as we can and try to be as efficient as we can. I've been able to bring that to this basketball team, and at the same time, kind of coaching Trey how to do the same thing even when I'm not on the floor, and be able to further his career. So if you put it that way, I can take pride in that. But hopefully it amounts to some success in the postseason. So thank you.
Thanks, Lou.
Allison.
I guess kind of following that up a little bit, since you joined the team in March, where do you see the biggest growth in this team to make them ready for this playoff push now?
I just think this unit is growing as a whole. I think they have a great core of young guys that really enjoy being with each other, really enjoy sharing the floor as well. And they want to be successful, and they want to see each other be successful and succeed as a group. And so for me, I think the growth would be in the confidence and them just looking at this thing as a whole and not individually. Sometimes, teams kind of put everything on one guy's back, and I don't feel like that's been the focus here. I think they've done a great job of grooming these young guys as a unit, as a whole, and as a group, and they've embraced that. So I think that's where I've seen the most growth.
And what do you like the most or enjoy about being able to be a mentor and to kind of help Trey on and off the court? I mean, what do you enjoy about that the most?
Just being a positive force in the basketball game. When 16 years is a long time to do anything, so for me to have that opportunity to be here and still be able to learn myself, still learning things and learning guys and, learning different systems, and to be able to share my experiences with guys, it just means a lot. You'll be able to look back and some of the guys across the league, I kind of see some of the things that I was able to do over my career, and some of my ex-teammates kind of using some of my things. And so, it's just something to be prideful about. And Trey and I are growing as friends, as teammates. And, I look at him as an equal, and anything I can help him do and anything I can help him with furthering his career, I'm willing to do it. So it's been a fun experience.
And final last one for me. What makes it so challenging when it comes to the playoffs, going up against the same team night in and night out, 4 or 5 times versus in the season where you rotate almost every other game?
Everybody's going to know everything. By game 3, they're going to know our game plan. We're going to know their game plan. It's just going to come down to who can take care of the basketball, who can execute, and who's going to be on the same page. And so I think that's one of the most challenging things about the playoffs. It becomes chess. It becomes a chess match. Everybody knows every move and everything like that. So it comes down to those small details, like I said, and that's going to be the thing that's going to give us the best opportunity to win.
Kevin Chouinard.
A couple of seasons ago, the Clippers traded Tobias midseason, and it kind of left you and Danilo as sort of the centerpieces of that Clippers team. What was it like going through the playoffs with him against the Warriors?
It was exciting. I felt like we were playing with house money. We kind of put ourselves in a position where much wasn't expected out of that group. And I felt like Gallo and myself and along with the rest of those guys, we did a great job of putting that pressure on our backs, embracing it, and going out and giving a very good Golden State team a run for their money. I'm not sure if that's the year they won it or whether they lost in 7, but I think that was a series that we were proud about. We felt like we had an opportunity to win that series at that time. We felt like we had enough to do it, and obviously it didn't happen, but that was just our mindset at that time where we were very confident. So I look forward to working with Gallo again in the postseason. Gallo has been one of my favorite guys to work with over the course of my career. Very easy to work with. Communication is great, and obviously he's a highly talented player. And so I look forward to seeing what we can do with this team.
Got 2 more folks. First from Eric Walden out in Salt Lake City.
Hey, Lou, I'm going to ask you a couple off the beaten path questions. I cover the Utah Jazz, and I'm looking to get some insight into Quinn Snyder, who you played for in a couple of your stops. First, back with the 2010-11 Philadelphia 76ers, that was his first full-time job in the NBA following his stint in the D-League. He was hired as the Sixers player development coach. Just wondering if you have any memories of kind of what he was like in his first year in the league, and kind of, what, if anything, you were able to learn from him back then.
Quinn is just a great guy, man. He knows how to communicate. I think he has the innate ability as a coach to get his point across without, scarring players and kind of belittling guys sometimes, in that position. That tends to be the case. I think he's done a great job over his career of being able to communicate his message very clearly, very respectfully, and he puts himself in a position where guys can't help but follow his lead. That's one of the things that I remember about Quinn. He didn't burn his voice out. He didn't talk too much. He got straight to the point. He made it clear. He made it simple. He was efficient with his coaching, and guys listened. And I think that's one of the main reasons he's had success in Utah with that group. When you have a coach that, that it's easy to follow his lead and easy to follow his example. It's easy to go out on the basketball floor and try to do great things. And so that's what I remember most about Quinn.
And then you played for him again when in Atlanta, actually, 2013-14, when he got hired by Coach Bud, I want to say, along with Taylor Jenkins. What was different that time around, going from, in Philly, he's a player development coach. In Atlanta, he's kind of the lead assistant under Coach Bud. Was there any kind of tangible difference in terms of what he did and what he brought to the team at that point?
No, not for me. My ideology, man, when something is great, usually it's very consistent. And that's how I feel about Quinn, man. He's a great coach and he's very consistent. So not much was very different there.
All right, well, I got two more now for real. Last two. First from Rebecca Harlow. I'm sorry.
Lou, sorry, one more quick one for you. You've got a couple more years under your belt than Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson, but at the same time, what they're doing in New York is very similar, bringing their leadership and a lot of talent and experience to this Knicks team. You're doing a similar thing in Atlanta. Do you have a personal relationship with either one of those guys? And is there just a mutual respect for being able to stay on the floor and have careers that are this long?
Yeah, definitely a mutual respect. Battling these guys over the course of the years, and actually in the last few years, Derrick and I have developed a friendship that we hadn't had before that, and Taj and I have always been respectful to each other when we see each other. So definitely mutual respect there for both of those guys. Very accomplished pros. D Rose is going to go down as a Hall of Famer in this league based on the things that he's been able to accomplish. Taj has been much like myself, been consistent over the course of his career. So I look forward to competing against those guys. I know it's not going to be easy. Once we get into the postseason and we've had success in the postseason, there's a switch that we all have going into that postseason, and both of those guys have accomplished great things in the postseason. So I look forward to that battle with them in that group, and we'll go from there.
And what about Rose? You said more recently you guys have become friends. Was that through workouts, or how have you guys connected later in your careers?
No, it's off the court, just running into each other in some places.
Got it. Cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Final question from Maria Martin at 11 Alive.
One quick question, I promise. In all your conversations with Trey, and also just what you've observed from him on the court, what have you been most impressed with?
He's eager to grow and learn as a player. I think he's at a point in his career where his maturation is important to him. He wants to be able to turn the corner and be mentioned with all of the great guys that carries this league. And he's hungry for advice. He's hungry for just knowing what's next for himself and being able to grow at that next level. And so that's the thing that I've been most impressed about.
Thank you, Lou. That was our final question.
Yeah, cool.